Hi and welcome to Chop's Garage, the real life car trading channel. I've come in today, moved a few cars around, and I'm beset with engine management lights. They're bigging up on everything. So we need to go around and find out what is serious and what is not. I can't be running them back and forth to the garage to get the diagnostics done. I mean, for you guys, that's about, what, 80 quid these days to have someone do diagnostics. Even for me, trade-wise, I think I'm about 60 or something. And it's just going to take up a load of my time running them back and forth. So it's time to dig out the old Topdon. I've got a Topdon AD600, which is their mid-range diagnostics machine. And we're going to go around and find out what is the score with all of the cars, see if I can't diagnose what's wrong with them myself. And we've got one specifically that I have bought blind. I was told it had an engine management light. I bought blind. I bought it with for a really good price, and we're going to find out if I've made a big mistake or not on it. So first up, let's bite the bullet and do the riskiest one first. So I bought this Ford Focus from main dealers as a part exchange cheaply. It was very cheap, but that's because it had an engine management light on it. All the glass was fogged up from a leak in the boot, I think. It just, I don't know, just seemed a bit unloved. And I said, I don't know what the engine management light is about. It could be all kinds of problems. Now this is the 1.6 petrol, so no turbos to worry about. It's not the 1 litre EcoBoost. There's a bit of paint on the wing mirror cap there. Actually, I think I might have been a bit unfair on it. The paint overall seems... Oh no, there's a bit more lacquer peel at the bottom of the bumper there. Nothing outrageous, I guess, for 2012. Again, we've got to remember that's now 12 years old, isn't it? Jeez, how did that happen? But yeah, we need to... I don't know what the engine management code is. I've taken a punt on it. We need to seal behind the rear lights because that's where the water will be getting in on these Focuses, it always does. So, fingers crossed, the Topdon tells us there's nothing too outrageous. But obviously, things are part exchange for a reason, aren't they, guys? So, we're about to find out why. They've obviously been told, presumably, that it's uneconomical repair. Where's my OBD port? Let's do my little search. It's that game again. How far? Leaning in straight away, I can see. That is really damp, and it is in the footwell back there as well. So I'm not 100% convinced that's where. Let's have a quick look. I'm hoping the wheel well is absolutely full. If it's not, it's getting in somewhere else. It looks like it might well be. Look, it's not horrendously wet, but all that seems to be quite wet. Don't know why the footwells would be getting wet. Normally they only get wet if it fills the boot right up. Oh, what's someone been doing here? I didn't see that. Look, we're going to repaint in here. Someone's tried to do something. Trying to find a way of stopping. Unless that was rust. That might just be it was getting rusty there. As they get older, they get a bit rusty around the seams. Perhaps that's what that was about. What's the door rubber like? That's all good. Don't see anything obvious there. The side of the door rubber seems to be good all the way around. Oh, hang fire. Look, these Ford Focuses door rubbers come away all the time. That one's been coming away. I wonder if that's been letting water in on this side. See, it's come away all the way around there. They're terrible for it. All the Ford Focuses do it. The rest of the rubber seems alright all the way around now. I would have thought that would stop water getting in. So hopefully it's not heater matrix, but it doesn't smell sweet. If it's heater matrix, that'll be fun, won't it? Yeah, it's damp down there. It's not over this side. Oh no, it is. Tell a lie. Gosh, that's really wet. Really, really wet. Oh, I think I might have to get the interior out of this one. That's really strange. There's a lot of water on the inside of the rubber on this door. Oh yeah, look. All the rubbers come off all the way around here. Comment down below if you know the best stuff to stick these back on again with, because someone's had an attempt here and it's come away all over the place. So it could be a case of the door rubbers letting it in, I guess, because that is bad enough to sort of twist up on itself and give no seal between the two edges, but it does seem very wet for that. We'll check the coolant level, I think. This is what we call a big old punt, guys, isn't it? Where's the bonnet release on this? We haven't even begun to look at what the engine code is yet, have we? Right, so the coolant level's alright, so it's not like it's dumped a load of coolant out in it, unless they've obviously topped it back up, but normally that would just be topped back up with water. That looks like a proper sort of percentage coolant. Very unusual for someone at home to do that. While we're in it, let's have a look at the oil. Looks like it's just over the minimum, but it is a nice colour. That's the Z-Tech unit, isn't it? That's just the 1.6 Z-Tech, which is a pretty bulletproof engine as far as I'm aware. Obviously it's tied enough in here. Let's get it plugged in and see what that code is. Just remembered on these, it's underneath that little glove box there, isn't it? You've got to squeeze it and let it drop. Plug that in there. Well, that's nice. The Topdon had no problem at all finding the VIN. A lot of these sort of diagnostics machines, you end up having to put it in manually. Going around taking a picture from the windscreen and having to enter it manually. But yeah, Topdon found that no problem at all. Righto, straight away we're into a load of codes. Anti-lock, I mean that could be low battery though. That's, you know, yeah, battery voltage, speed sensor. Yeah, we've got a lot of voltage ones here. I'm not too worried about those ones. I think they're all voltage. Interesting, nothing about parking sensors on here. What's that? Restraint. Invalid data received from ABS brake module. I think that's all voltage stuff. Let's clear those. I was told we had an engine light. I wonder if what they mistook was the parking brake warning, parking module warning. That's in the information. How do we cycle that? Yes, system check, parking aid service require, misfunction. I wonder if that's from the module getting wet, possibly. I'm wondering if that's a module getting wet for the parking, or if it's a parking sensor. I'll have to look into that. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few modules on this carpet that are going to get wet. I suspect the two may well be linked, but it have cleared the codes. Doesn't seem to have any issues at all. I'll have to rev it up a bit. Revs cleanly enough. Let's go for a little spin. I'll unplug that a second, go for a little spin, and then maybe run the codes again. I said little spin just around the car park. Yeah, look, I mean, it's coming on voltage wise. ABS, traction, power steering got a bit heavy then. I think it's all a voltage thing. I think we need to go for a good old drive and then come back and plug it in again and see if we get that again. I think a lot of what we've got at the moment is voltage wise. Hopefully it's not the case of wet modules. I don't think the ABS and the traction control will be living there. I think they'll be living in the engine bay, won't they? I don't know, I might be wrong. Let's lock up, go for put tray plates in and go for a proper drive, and then come back and see what happens with these codes. Make the trip worthwhile, we'll drop the new indicator stalk for the old Renault Megane down to Moors. That'll be good use of our time, won't it? And get some miles under the belt of this. Let's see what it's got to say for itself then. I've left it running, and that traction control and brakes has already gone from sitting it running again. I'm convinced that's voltage. Might sound like I'm saying everything's battery, but I'm telling you, when you have a problem with your car where loads of lights come on, especially when they relate to steering, ABS, all that kind of stuff, it is normally your battery voltage. If you're driving along, it happens, it normally means your alternator or your alternator belt is gone. So always check that first before you start throwing a parts cannon at it. Right, let's go for a little spin and see what we think of the rest. So, being a Focus, I'm expecting nice tight handling. This 1.6 isn't the most powerful engine in the world, but get the revs up and it should go along all right. The ABS and the traction control lights just popped on again. So, again, it's difficult to tell for sure what that is, but I'm pretty convinced that it is voltage related. Gearbox is smooth, no problems with that at all. Clutch is fine. Suspension feels good. No big knocks or bangs. Brakes are good. I'll test when I'm on a straight road if they're pulling straight or not in a minute. I mean, the engine management light they said they had on, I'm not getting, and the engine seems to be pulling absolutely fine as far as I can see. So I'm down with the I'm down with the Moors boys, and you hear about Range Rover Sports and how much they cost to repair. This one needed a new engine, and it is, as they say, body off. We've got the whole chassis of the Range Rover Sport here all laid out. And I think there's quite a few jobs which include, I think, the turbos. I think some people do the turbos with the body on, but that is how far you have to go. Normally replacing an engine would be a case of getting a hoist in, detaching it all and then dropping it out the bottom or out the top, but this is body off. So if you're looking to buy a used Range Rover Sport, be aware this is the kind of cost you can incur. Right, so the Megane, the cheap Megane, if you remember, this was the £200 Renault Megane that we got as a part exchange at the main dealership, and the paintwork's terrible on it. I saw how bad it really is. Anyway, you all wanted me to save this, and you said that you'd buy it if we got an MOT on it and raffled it off. Instant regret, because it has failed its MOT, and I don't quite understand how it got through previous MOTs. They thought that some of the bulbs were out, but what they actually found out was there was an issue with the switch for the lights on the steering column. But this Megane has a very specific set of switches. The switches are actually up mine. I'll show you when I get back to mine. But I found loads of them online, but none of them are the right ones. There seems to have been a year slightly earlier that had two brass strips rather than a plug on it, and I'm really struggling to find one. So you can see the car is apart at the moment until that is resolved. Right, back from my run, and those lights are still there. They have been going on off, but they are still there, so I'm less convinced it's voltage now. I think we might actually have a fault, and we do now have an accompaniment of a engine management light. So let's get the Topdon back in again, get the old 600S back on the case and see what the score is with the engine management light. Right, so we've got 2 for ABS, 1 for powertrain control module. Sorry, 3 for powertrain control module. Now let's go into that one. Vehicle speed, invalid data from ABS. So it's not actually engine management, it's not engine again. It's all relating to the ABS again. Wheel speed sensor. Is that front left? Wheel speed sensor, front left. So if the wheel speed sensor is out on the front left, that will take out the ABS as well, as I understand it. It's going to have a problem with that as well. Valid data from ABS. Comment down below, guys. So our other cars with codes is the Suzuki, Vitara, and the Seat Ibiza at the back, hiding away in the back there. So first up is the Seat, if I can squeeze in while it's in the unit here. Oh! Right, so Topdon's all powered up. Let's get the key in the ignition. Right, health report. Let's see what it comes back with. These cars are getting moved just in and out the unit, and sometimes low voltage on the batteries from doing that. low fuel and the fact that it's only been driven a few feet can throw up a lot of codes for oxygen sensors, that kind of stuff. Sometimes you clear them and drive them, they're okay afterwards. Yeah, there we go. O2 sensor, heater control circuit, bank 1, sensor 2. Go read data stream. What do we want to pick? So as per with the other Topdons, I can go through here and pick exactly what I want. So let's look for the oxygen sensors. Got a squeaky tensioner as well there actually. That might need swapping out as well. Oxygen bank sensor 1, voltage 1.275, sensor 2 1.275. Yeah, it's let me clear the code and restart the car without it being there. See if I rev it up if it comes back again. Okay, like I said, we'll give it a bit of a test drive and let's move on to the next one. So, got the VIN for the Suzuki. So, we've got code for air conditioning, which sun load. Oh, I've seen that on loads of these Suzukis. Don't know that it means anything at all because the aircon normally works. ABS, steering angle calibration defect. That's a classic low battery one. With the battery low, the voltage low, what normally happens is if you give it a charge and drive around the yard and it sort of resets itself and it's all happy. I'm going to say that is going to be that, because let's face it, it's just gone down, had an advisory free MOT, it driven back here and parked up, and that's all it's done. It's moved out here a couple of times. I say it is a bit slow cranking, so we'll get the Topdon battery charger on it, do a charge, and use a Topdon tester to get a report on the battery, see if it's any good or not. So it's come back with no codes. We start her up. You'll hear how slow she's starting up. Yeah. Yeah, it blipped up for a second now. I think it wanted to try and do it again because of the voltage. So we'll get this on charge and this should be alright, I think. So as regards the Diagnostics 600S, as per all Topdon equipment, super easy to use. Literally, it was the easiest thing in the world to go through and get all those codes up on it. Really easy to use. As I always say, this will do way more than I will do with it. If you want to go steps further, like you saw, you can go onto live data. You can find out if components in the car have got voltage going to them, what they're reading, you know, in terms of emissions, that kind of thing. You can reset DPFs if you've got that problem going on. It's just loads and loads of features. This is a really good one because it's mid-range. It's sort of like, you don't want to go sort of the 900 end, which is the top machine that you'll probably end up never using any of the features of. But if you want to go a bit further than the basic code readers where you're just literally just getting the code, if you want to, like say, be able to do a little bit more, this is sort of mid-range. This is pretty perfect for you. As always, the legends at Topdon are giving a discount code for you guys, so I will put that on screen now so you can grab yourself a bargain on one of these. Like I say, with the current costs, the hourly rate in garages to get diagnostics done, one of these is just fabulous to have kicking around. So massive thanks to Topdon again. Like I say, I'll put a link in the video description down below so you can get the special offer on one of these. Even if you're not going to do the repair yourself, you can then do a little bit more research and know exactly what the cost of the parts are likely to be and what the sort of labour rate's going to be, because you've got a good idea of what needs replacing. So the Focus, I've decided to trade it out. I got it at a strong enough price where I could call a dealer, let him know the faults I'd found with it so far and the potential fixes I think it needed doing, and make profit out of it. And I decided I've got enough on my plate as it is. I want to crack on through a few projects. And I've already got a Ford Focus in stock, same sort of age, same sort of mileage. So I put a call in, like I said exactly what I thought the faults were, gave them a price that leaves them a strong margin, a very strong margin to get all those bits and bobs fixed, and still makes me a bit of money. And time-wise, what have I got in it? Maybe an hour fiddling about, so makes the most sense in these circumstances to do that. So as always, many thanks for watching. Make sure you grab that Topdon deal while it's on, and I shall see you on the next one. Cheers!